Attention passionate Atlanta, Falcons fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC South and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Atlanta Falcons' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Atlanta Falcons fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and Atlanta, FALCONS, FANS. Let's get to the news, all right, folks. Hold on tight because what I'm about to share might just shake up the NFC South and really change the landscape for the Atlanta Falcons. Word is swirling that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are making some serious moves, and one of the most talked about rumors right now involves Tristan Wirfs, the Buccaneers' star offensive tackle. And the buzz is that Wirfs might be heading to Atlanta in a blockbuster trade. Yeah, you heard that right. It's not every day we see something this significant, especially involving a player of Wirfs' caliber. And if it goes down as speculated, it could be a game-changer for the Falcons' offensive line and their entire season. So let's break it down. According to sources like Diana Rossini, there's a lot of whispers in the NFL circles that the Buccaneers are actively shopping Wirfs. The Bucs are sitting at a middling 5-5 record, and they've been struggling with an inconsistent offensive line that's allowing nearly 6 sacks per game. That's a lot, especially for a team that's supposed to be contending in the NFC South. The Buccaneers are also facing some cap constraints, with about $22 million in future savings, which makes moving Wirfs, who's on a very affordable deal for the level of talent he provides, a strategic move to free up cap space and reshape their roster. Now, why would the Falcons be interested? Well, if you've been paying attention, you know that the offensive line has been a big concern for Atlanta. They've had injuries, especially on the interior, with GS like Matthews questionable because of hamstring issues, and the pressure that's been allowed has been pretty alarming. Adding a top-tier tackle like Wirfs could be exactly what this team needs to solidify that line, protect their quarterback, and open up more running lanes for Bijan Robinson. It's a move that could elevate the entire offense and, in turn, boost the team's chances to compete at a higher level. Let's talk about Wirfs' credentials because he's not just any offensive tackle. This guy is a 4-time Pro Bowler and is having a career year in 2025 with a PFF grade of 88.9, ranking him among the top 4 offensive tackles in the league. His pass blocking win rate is an impressive 93%, and his run blocking is at 89%. In the 10 games he's played this season, he's only allowed 1 sack, with just 14 pressures, and his EPA per block is a solid 0.15. That's elite production. Now, compare that to some of the best in the league. He's right up there with Trent Williams and other top-tier tackles. His career stats are just as impressive. Over 90 starts, a PFF grade averaging around 87, and a reputation for being a dominant force on the blind side, with a win rate in pass protection of 91%. He's also excellent at run blocking, with an 88% success rate in screens and run plays, and only allowed 8 sacks over his career, with pressures totaling just over 100. What makes this even more enticing for the Falcons is the potential impact on their offensive efficiency. The Falcons currently average around 2 points per game, but with Wirfs anchoring the line, that number could easily jump into the 27-point range or higher. Their sack numbers would drop significantly, potentially down to just 3 per game, which is a huge step forward. The EPA per protection would see a boost of around 21%, leading to a more comfortable pocket for Cousins and more time for him to find his targets. Robinson's rushing yards and the overall run game could see a spike, as the holes are likely to be bigger with a dominant tackle anchoring the line. Comparing Wirfs to Lindstrom, who's been solid but not quite at Wirfs' level, you see the clear upgrade in protection and overall offensive stability. And let's not forget about the divisional implications. The NFC South has been unpredictable this season, with the Saints, Panthers, and even the Bucs fighting for playoff positioning. If the Falcons can lock down a top-tier tackle like Wirfs, it could push them from a borderline playoff team into serious contenders. Their chances in the red zone would improve. Their third down efficiency could climb from 38% to around 43%. And their overall time of possession could extend by several minutes, giving their defense more rest and increasing their chances of closing out games. The added stability up front also means the Falcons' defense can pin their ears back and rush the passer more aggressively, knowing the line is more reliable. That kind of confidence can make a big difference in tight games, especially against division rivals like the Saints or Panthers. Now, some of you might be thinking, wait, what about Tampa? Why would they trade Wirfs? Well, Tampa's management is reportedly focusing on a youth movement on defense, trying to build a more sustainable, fast, and aggressive unit. Moving Wirfs could save them around $22 million in cap space, which they might want to allocate elsewhere, especially since their offensive line has been letting through too many sacks. It's a culling of sorts, and they are focusing on developing their younger players, which makes a trade of Wirfs plausible, especially if they get the right compensation. This potential trade also has huge implications for the Falcons' Super Bowl odds. Right now, they're sitting at long shots at plus 8,000, but if this move goes through and Wirfs becomes a Falcon, those odds could tighten dramatically, maybe even to plus 3,200 or better. That's a massive jump, especially considering how much Wirfs could help elevate the team's front seven against some of the league's best pass rushers like Burns or other edge rushers. His ability to open big lanes for Robinson and keep Cousins upright in the pocket would make Atlanta a much more dangerous team in the second half of the season. It's not just about making the playoffs. It's about making a serious run, and adding a player like Wirfs could be the difference between just sneaking into the postseason and making a deep playoff push. Now, this kind of move isn't without its risks or questions. The Falcons would have to give up a first-round pick in 2026, which is a significant price. But if you consider the impact Wirfs could have, it might be well worth it. The team's management has been aggressive before, and this could be the kind of bold move that propels Atlanta into elite status. The coaching staff would need to integrate Wirfs seamlessly into their scheme, but with his experience and proven talent, he'd likely be an instant upgrade. Overall, folks, this trade rumor is heating up, and if it materializes, it could be one of the most pivotal moments in Atlanta Falcons history in recent years. It's a move that screams ambition, a clear message that the Falcons are serious about contending and not settling for mediocrity. With a revamped offensive line anchored by Wirfs, the Falcons could finally unlock the full potential of their offense, balance out their attack, and become true contenders in the NFC. The division will be watching closely, and so will every Falcons fan hoping to see their team take the next step. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YouTube algorithm to keep recommending the latest Atlanta Falcons news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. Looking ahead, if the Falcons do manage to pull off this trade, it's a signal that they're all in on making a serious postseason push. The addition of Wirfs would not only bolster their line, but send a message to the entire league that Atlanta means business. It's about building a team that can compete with the best in the NFC and beyond, and adding a player of Wirfs' caliber would be a huge step in that direction. The fans are fired up already, imagining the possibilities: a dominant offensive line, a more balanced attack, and a defense that can breathe easier with less pressure on their quarterback. Of course, the NFL is unpredictable, and nothing is guaranteed. But if there's one thing Falcons fans know, it's that this team has been steadily building towards something special, and a move like this could be that final piece to put them over the top. The division rivals better watch out because, with Wirfs protecting Cousins and opening up lanes, Atlanta could become one of the most feared teams in the NFC South, and maybe even beyond. And now, Atlanta Falcons fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Atlanta Falcons. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Atlanta Falcons news.